IMF staff completes visit to Seychelles. End of mission press releases include statements of IMF staff teams that convey preliminary findings after a visit to a country. The views expressed in this statement are those of the IMF staff and do not necessarily represent the views of the IMF's executive board. Based on the preliminary findings of this mission, staff will prepare a report that, subject to management approval, will be presented to the IMF's executive board for discussion and decision. Macroeconomic performance continued to be strong in 2016. Growth outlook for 2017 remains positive on account of foreign investments and rising arrivals in the tourism sector. The 2016 primary fiscal surplus reached 3.4% of GDP, comfortably exceeding the program target. An International Monetary Fund (IMF) staff team led by Mr. Wendell Samuel visited Victoria from March 22–April 4 to conduct discussions on the 2017 Article 4 consultation and the 6th review under the Extended Fund Facility (EFF) 1 arrangement with Seychelles. At the conclusion of the visit, Mr. Samuel issued the following statement. Macroeconomic performance continued to be strong in 2016. Economic growth reached 4.5%, reflecting increased tourist arrivals, stronger output in the fishing industry, and expanding credit to the private sector. Helped by low commodity prices and a stable exchange rate, inflation, year-on-year, was negative throughout 2016. The external current account deficit remained largely unchanged, while net international reserves exceeded the program target by $14 million. Supported by lower than budgeted capital outlays and strong tax revenue growth, the 2016 primary fiscal surplus reached 3.4% of GDP, comfortably exceeding the program target. The end 2016 reserve money ceiling was missed by a very narrow margin, due to stronger than expected growth in foreign currency deposits. With continued foreign investments and rising arrivals in the tourism sector, the growth outlook for 2017 remains positive. The rising trend in international fuel prices since late 2016, along with fiscal measures in the avoid excess volatility and preserve reserve coverage at an adequate level. At the same time, the bank is called upon to remain vigilant to inflationary pressure stemming from rising international commodity prices and fiscal measures in the 2017 budget. As a small archipelagic country, Seychelles is becoming increasingly vulnerable to natural disasters and to climate change. Over the long run, the economic costs of such events could be large and unpredictable. To better address these challenges, the authorities jointly with international partners need to pursue a medium-term strategy that would create additional fiscal space to undertake the necessary climate change mitigation and adaptation measures. In addition, climate change should be integrated into public financial management and options for risk-sharing need to be carefully explored. Subject to the approval of IMF management, the IMF Executive Board is expected to discuss the completion of the review and the Article 4 consultation in June 2017. The mission appreciates the high quality of the discussions and thanks the authorities for their hospitality, as well as the open and constructive dialogue. The team met with His Excellency President Danny Fore, Minister of Finance, Trade, and Planning Peter Larossi, and Governor of the CBS Caroline Abel, as well as other government officials, members of the National Assembly, and representatives of the private sector and civil society.